Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Rohit and this is the day 13 of the admin training. In this day we'll talk about the form and list customization. In last day we created a table called book. So in this book table we are going to customize the form and list, and in this day we'll basically talk about that form layout. We'll talk about the form customization. We'll talk about that form designer. We'll talk about the list layout and list personalization. So these are the topic we are going to talk about in our today's class. So let's go back to the ServiceNow instance and discuss further. So this is my ServiceNow instance. If you remember that in this ServiceNow instance, we created a table called book. So let's open this book table. This is our new table, and this table have couple of fields that we have created. So if you remember, we have the serial number, price, book title, author, group number. These are the fields are created. Now let's go back to as a ITIL user and log into this instance in incognito mode and see how it looks like that. So you can see the small screen. This is the my incognito mode, and in this incognito I am trying to log in my ServiceNow instance. So let's put this ITIL user. So I'll log in through the ITIL user. So let's go back and log in through the ITIL user. So I put my username and password, and let me try to log into this incognito mode. And this is how my incognito UI looks like that. And let's go back to the book module. So if I type the book module and open that, so I'm opening this book module and it is giving a security constants. The left navigation, the book module is available. So you can see this left navigation, this book module is available. But when I try to log into this instance or this module, it is giving the security access, right? So let's first resolve this issue, and then we'll further discuss about that form layout and list layout, all those stuffs. So going back here, right click, configure, and then if you go back to the tables module, it will directly land to the tables object that where we created the tables, right? So this is the table object where this table will be created. And now this table, if you go to the controls, we don't create any, this checkbox we uncheck, and that's the reason we don't create any ACL. And what is ACL, we'll discuss that, and that's the reason nobody able to access this module at that moment. So what I'll do, I'll say that this tables or this record will be accessed by ITIL user. So I'll just remove this custom u underscore book, all these stuffs, and put this ITIL table. So once you put this ITIL role or this ITIL things, it will create some security rules, or ACL it will be created. And once ACL will be created, that table or this book module will be accessible by ITIL user. So what is ACL? Why we are creating that? So we'll discuss further, but let it be as that moment. We are going to create these 4 security rule automatically. So once it is checked here, system will automatically create 4 security rules. So before we save that, I want to show you that if you scroll down at the bottom, you can see there is access control. These are the related list we have discussed, right? And under the access control, there is no access control at that moment. So it means that there is no ACL at that moment. And if there is no ACL at that moment, system does not allow anybody to access this table. So that's the reason what we'll do. We'll just check this one and we'll pick any existing role. So for example, our case, we are picking that ITL role and clicking save that. Once we click save button, it will create 4 ACL and or 4 access control in the bottom. So if I scroll down, now you can see 4 access control is automatically created, and these all are granted by ITL user that we have selected. It means that ITL user can create, delete, read, write at that moment. We'll discuss further in more dig in to the ACL, but for the time being, this book module or book table have a access to the ITL user, and they can create the record, they can delete the record, they can read the record. And let's go back to the incognito mode right now. So this is our incognito mode, and if we refresh that, we should be able to see the list of book record. And now you can see this is the book module we are able to access. And in this you can see first we have this we call the list layout. We discussed that in this list layout we can see only created, we cannot see other things, other fields, right? So we cannot see other fields. So first we will talk about that how we can add other fields. So let's go back to this admin profile. So this is our admin profile. If we go back to the books module here, you can see I have a 2 fields called SN and book title, but this user you can see this user don't have any options to only they are seeing the created. but they can click here personalize and they can start adding that. So that's the one step. They can click here and then start adding that. That's the one step. But by default, if the user log in, if they don't personalize that, they only see the created field. So that's the one thing. So first thing I'll talk about that how we can add the field. So here also, if you go here, this personalize icon as an admin and click the reset column default, you will be able to see only created field is showing because this fields is only added to your list layout. So we call that list layout. Under the list layout, only this created field is added. You personalize and add couple of fields, and once you click the personalize and add couple of fields, this personalization is only for you, right? To make it globally available for everyone, you just need to be right click and configure and then list layout. So once you configure, go to the list layout, you will be able to find out that a slash bucket open. This is we call the slash bucket, and here you have the view name. So whenever we created a table, for example, we created the book table, right? By default, it will create one view called default view, and under this default view, whatever field we want to show as a default, we can add that. For example, we add the book title, we'll add the author, we'll add the serial number, and then we'll bring this created little bottom and click save. So once we save that, this list layout is actually saved. It means that this is not the personalized list layout. This is the globally affected for all the user. Now, if we go back to the incognito mode, so this is our incognito mode. Under this incognito, we just change this list layout, right? So that this is the ideal user and they should be also able to see these latest changes. And the user now can see the latest changes. So whenever any user open this table, they will be able to see these are the default fields. Now, based on their requirement, they can personalize, they can add many fields as they want, they can remove as many fields as they want. So they can add maybe number field and then click OK. So this number field will be added here. But this is personalized. It means that this user only able to see this field, not other users. So I am the admin. I should not be able to see this affected. So basically, if you do the personalized list layout, so personalized list only for yourself. But if you configure, right click, configure and list layout and change that, it will be effect for all the user. Okay, now let's say that some reason this affected, so let's say that you added this price here, right? So you added this after created or maybe before created, you added the price and save that. So you added the price and you save that, and if you go back to this user profile and refresh that, you won't be able to see this price field. Why? Because you added this as an admin, you added this list layout and it should affect all this globally, right? But it is not affected to the end user because this user is personalized their list layout. So any user, if they personalize their list layout, they won't be able to see the latest changes. To see the latest changes, you have to click this personalize icon and reset column default to that user. And once they reset their column, they will be able to see the default changes that have done by admin you will be able to see. So this way we can customize any list layout. So that's we understand right now. Let's go back to or open any record. So this is the record we have created. So now here we can design our form. So we have completed that list layout configuration. So we have discussed that how the list layout can affect other user. So list layout is a global changes and for default, right? So for all the user it will be affect, and then if somebody personalize that, they have to reset their personalization, and then once they reset their personalization, they will be able to see this latest list layout. Now we'll talk about that form layout. So we have another options called form layout, and using the form layout we can design a particular form. So whenever you open the form, we can design that. So let's see how we can design. For example, this number should be in the top, and then the left side the number will be, and then here it will be the serial number, like that. How we can do that? So we can just right click here and then configure, and then we have two options called form designer and form layout. We'll discuss that form layout first, then we'll discuss the form designer. Both the options are little bit different, but both the options is for the same purpose, for designing the form. So let's right click and click the form layout. Once you click the form layout, you will be able to see that we have a options called begin split, and then end split, and then we have a number, right? So let's cancel that. So this is our form. You can see in this form there are some field on the left side, some field on the right side. So if we want to show some field on the left side and right side, we can use the split mechanism. like begin split, split, and end split. So whatever field will be under the begin split will be in the left side, and whatever field will be in that after split, it will be in the right side. For example, I'll show you that. So I just open this record again in the next tab and right click, go back, and then form layout. You can see after begin split we have a two field called serial number and book title, and this serial number and book title are left side, and after that we have a split. It means that this form got split, and after that we have a price and author which is in the right side, and after that we have end split, and it means the split is end, and then we have number which is in the whole context. So basically whatever field will be before split will be in the left side, and after split will be right side, and then after end split you will be able to see complete number. So this is how we can basically design our form. Let's say that I want to shift this number to the top, and then serial number should be in the right side. What we can do, we can go to this number to this top on the begin split, and this serial number we can move to this after split. Now what will be happen, the left side will be number, after that we will have that book title, after right side we have the serial number, we will have the price, and we will have author. So basically right side will have the three field, left side will have two fields. So let's save that and see that the changes. So I just saved now. You can see these changes are affected. So left side we have number and book title, and right side we have serial number, price, and author. So this way we can actually shift based on our requirement. We can shift couple of fields, we can do whatever we needed. Right click again, configure, and then form layout. I will show you a few more options. So this way we can basically add the you can switch the field position, right? We can change the field position from left to right. We can split that form and we can add that. Now we have a options called sections. We can create our own sections. What is the sections? I'll show you that. Let's say that we can say that here we'll create another section called author information. So this is the one section I have created. Under this author section, we are going to add this author at that moment, and then we'll create another section called, we'll just click the save, and here we put that publisher information, and here we can put any other details. Let's say that we'll say that created by and created at that moment, and save that. So we created two new sections. One is the book was already there. We created author and information, and then we added a couple of fields here, and then simply save that. Now once we do that, let's see how it will looks like that. On the top we have a number and book title. These are the we have recently changes, and then we created two tabs. Basically it will generate some tabs. So section is nothing but it will generate some tabs. Under the tabs you will can see the couple of fields, right? So we have the author in that author information. Under the publisher we have these created and created by field. So this way we can create the sections. We can move our field from one position to the another position. For example, I want to remove the author information from the main section because author information is already there under the author section. How we can do that? You can right click, configure, form layout, and this author section, you can see the top we have a book, right? So this is the main sections, and these sections name and table name are similar. So we'll just remove that author from here and save that. So what will be happen? This author will be removed from here, and now under the author information, author section is there, publisher information, publisher details is there. So this way we can add, remove, and do whatever things we needed. As an admin, we can rearrange the form changes, right? And so once we rechange that, or once we rearrange those changes, this will be affected for all the user. For example, if I go back to my so this was my incognito, and I log in as a ITL user, right? So if I open this record, and this whatever we have changed here will be affected for this user also. And now you can see this user can see these changes, like this number, book title, serial number are little rearranged, right? So this way we can do, or as an admin we can do the form layout changes. Similar information or similar things can be done through the form designer. You can right click, configure, and then go to the form designer. Once you click the form designer, it will be open in a new tab, and you can see here we have a book, right? So this is the first section. So you can see this is the top main section, and here you can add any kind of field. You can remove any kind of field. For example, we have a updated by field, so we can directly drag this field here, and so once we drag this field here, I mean this field will be added here, and then if we save that, so this is the drag and drop, and this is that scroll and all these mechanisms. So we have added one field called updated, and now under this top section, updated field will be added. So you can see this updated field is added. So under the form designer, depending on which one is you are comfortable, you can use the form designer or you can use the form layout. These two are used to design that form. Here also we have, you can see under the form designer, you don't need to use the split. You can just click this one called one column and two column. Once you click the two column, you can simply drag any field from here to here. So let's say I am adding here instead of this one, right? So previously it was, you can see this was in one column, right? And now it will be two column. It will be like there will be a split. So form layout we are using the split, but the form designer we can use this mechanism, one column, two column mechanism to splitting that form. And then once we save that, what will be happen? This author information will be splitted left side and right side. Let's refresh that, and you can see this author information is splitted with that left side and right side. So depending on which one is you are comfortable, either you can use the form layout or form designer to design your particular form. Now under the form designer or form layout, even you can create the fields. So let me show you that how we can create the fields. So first we can create a field from directly from the form designer or maybe form layout. Previously we used to create the fields from right click, configure, and you have to go to the tables. Under the tables module, if you remember, we have a column, and here we are normally double click and used to create the fields, right? But you can directly also create the fields from the form designer or form layout. Let me show you how we can create from the form designer. So here we can go to this field type. Under the field type, you have all type of field. For example, we need a field called reference field. So what we'll do, we'll search here, or maybe you can pick from here. So we have a reference field. So we have a reference field, we can drag here. So let's say that under this publisher, I want another field, and this is the reference field. I have added a new field called new reference. Click this configure icon, and here we can put this called publisher name, right? And then here we need to point to a particular table as reference field. We need to point particular table. So let's say that we can select that sys_user table. We'll select that, and done. So we have done this one, and then click save. So this way you can simply create a field even from the form designer or form layout. I'll come to that form layout, how we can create that. And if you refresh that, under the publisher information, there will be a new field called publisher, and this is a reference field. You can see this is the reference field, right? So this way you can create directly field from the form designer. And if you want to, again here two column, you can do that, and then shift couple of field, like this field you can shift here, this field you can shift here. So this way you can rearrange their arrangement. Similarly, you can, if you want to create that any kind of, let's say that you want to add the string field, you can add this here. Let's say that location, you can just right click and change that location, and you can put the name or location, and just save that. So this way you can directly create directly a field from the form designer. You can see, so this form designer able to create the field. Similarly, from the form layout also you can create that. So you can simply right click, configure, and then form layout, and then we need to select that where we need to create the field. For example, we have publisher information 2 field, right? Publisher, and then location, and then here we are going to add one more field called publishing cost, or maybe actual cost. And then here we need to select the type of field. So we are selecting the currency. So I will select the currency and then add that. And then here I'll just rearrange the position and save that. So this way also I can create the field. So either you use the form layout or form designer, both the way you can create the fields under the under the table, particular table. So you can see I have created a couple of fields. This is the price and this is the actual cost here under the publisher information. We have this information. We can store now this information here on the table. Now, if I open this under this incognito, let's say that I am opening this data in incognito, all these changes should be affected here. So you can see as a admin, I have made a couple of changes, and then this is affected by all this user, and then as a ITL user I can see all these changes here. So you can see as a ITL user I can see all these changes. So basically this way we can design our form, and then using the form layout or maybe using the form designer, we can, using the UI, we can add as many as field we want. We don't need to use any SQL command for that. So not only that, new table, we can even change our existing table. For example, let's say we will open the change. Right, so this is our change table. We can also change that. Sometime you get a requirement that update these fields or create the fields or maybe change their position. You can do that. So let's say that this is our change table, which is out of box, and in case you need to be add some field, you need to remove that field, you can do that. So this is, so I'm the ITL user. If I right click, I don't have any options to configure, but as an admin I should have the options called configure, and then whatever field I needed to be designed for the user, we can do that. For example, this service and service offering is does not needed to this change request form. We can do that, right? How can we do that? We can just go back to the admin profile. So this is our admin profile. Here we can go back to the change module, and let's open this change module. Under this change module, you have a lot of records. Let's open any of this record. The mechanism is the same. Either you can go back to the form layout or maybe form designer and do that. So I'll right click here, go back, configure, and then form layout, and remove this service and service offering, because these two are unnecessary field which does not needed for all the user. So under the main sections, we want to remove this service and service offering, and then simply save that. Once we save that, it will be affected for all the user. All the user will be affected by this one. And if I open my incognito, so this is our incognito, and if I refresh that, the service and service offering should be removed from the change table. So basically, this form layout, form designer mechanism to add the form or remove the fields, design the form for all the table, either it is existing table or maybe new table. So for both the table cases, either out of box, new, custom, all the cases, you can use that form designer or form layout or maybe list layout to add, create or design your field. So that's it for today. If you have any question, let me know in the comment section. Thank you very much. Have a great day.